Welcome back, besties. We are here with another episode of Dare to Overshare, where oversharing is a love language. And today, you guys, I have someone who is ready to overshare because I know this girl and she's always, always down to tell it like it is. This is artist and director Phenix Red. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jackie.
I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm so excited. First of all, give me a vibe check. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling hungover.
That's real.
I'm feeling hungover, and I'm confused because because I only had 2 drinks. So, is this what being 30 feels like?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not great, but other than that, I'm feeling burnt out and also inspired at the same time.
I love the honesty. I love asking people how they're feeling and actually getting a real response, not just everything's great, because sometimes everything is great and sometimes everything is not great. So you're hungover and burnt out. I love that for you.
I love that for me too. I think sky's the limit.
Yeah, exactly. It can't
Yeah.
go down from here. Can only
No,
go up.
I hit my bottom line. I can't wait for what's
All
coming.
right, so let's start with our first overshare, which I definitely want to get into with you. Now, you said, and I'm paraphrasing, I battle with hypochondria and body dysmorphia. So just walk me through it. When did it start, and does it still affect you today?
I don't even remember a time when it wasn't there, which is weird to think about actually. But I've lived with it. I've lived with it for so long, so it's just like to me. Sometimes I forget that I have those voices in my head. Like I forget that it's not everybody's reality. But I think it started around the time that my parents got divorced, probably, and maybe it was like an adverse, reaction to like wanting to maybe feel control over something. Um, but that's definitely where my hypochondria started. And just like a weird obsession with like different diseases, different things like that, just needing to know like how it was going to kill you. Like it became like a little bit of a thing for me. And I think, I don't know, maybe it just had a lot to do with feeling unsafe or not, settled in my environment. So like I never maybe felt safe in my body. So I don't know. I'm still exploring what that is, but I've released a lot of it. Going through COVID allowed me to release like a lot of anxiety around, death, because it's not just like hypochondria rooted in like the fear of being like sick. It's more so like always thinking like, is this gonna kill me? Like, am I gonna like die before my purpose type of thing? So
So, was it fair to say that it's more the fear of death versus the fear of just
yeah,
some sort of sickness? It's like you don't want to die.
yeah, and it
Mm,
manifests like in a very like hypochondria way. I guess like I classified it as that, right? Because it's like
yeah.
if I'm feeling any kind of things, I overanalyze my symptoms, but I go straight to death. So,
Are you one of those people that goes on what's that website? The at WebMD type of thing, and then you just automatically think the absolute worst.
yes, yes. And now that ChatGPT has come
Oh
around
no.
diagnosing people, I am now avoiding ChatGPT because I feel like if it starts diagnosing me, I'm going to take that even farther than I took WebMD. And my ex used to literally like, he would grab my phone because he knew that as soon as I started feeling something or I heard something on the news, or like if I scrolled through and then somebody's like, oh, I was feeling fine, but then, like I felt like this, and now all of a sudden I have stage 3, cancer. I'm like, I pick up my phone and I start
Mm-hmm.
analyzing my symptoms immediately. So
And when you seek something, you will find. You'll find exactly what you're
exactly,
looking for. Because I've also been that hypochondriac where when you type in your symptoms, even if it doesn't give you the thing that you think, you will almost add, well, I also feel this, and can it be this, and what are the odds of this? And then all of a sudden you're getting the answer that you were afraid to get because you were looking so hard for that answer.
exactly. That happens all the time. Or like, if you have such a, I feel like a lot of people, we all have this capacity, but like, I know that my energy is really intense. And sometimes like, if I direct it towards something, like I get it full throttle. So if I'm also reading these symptoms, I can manifest them in real time.
That is very true. So when was the last time you feel like you manifested a sickness for yourself?
That might be way too personal.
Dare to
I
overshare.
know, I don't know. Um, Dang, well, I recently went to Thailand, and when I got to Thailand, um, I actually got like, like all the symptoms of like what I would call like not mono, but just like an old general malaise, like in a tight chest, all these things, and then it didn't really accumulate to anything. But I was going through some stressful stuff before I left, and I went through like a lot of changes in like a quick amount of time, and then I like started obsessing over, just like my health and well being, and then I just kind of manifested that. When I got off the plane, I was just like, hey.
That happens to me all the time too. When I travel, I feel like, okay, this is TMI, but we're on Dare to Overshare. So bear with me here. I can never go number 2 when I'm traveling. Okay. I have no problem with it on a daily basis. Everything's fine. Everything's working well. As soon as I spend the night somewhere else, and now this isn't like a shyness because I could be alone. I could be with my family. I could be with my best friends. It has nothing to do with being shy. It's like because it's happened to me for so long that my body reacts to it and I remember it and I'm like, oh man, I can't go to the bathroom now. So it's almost like we perpetuate that in our heads because we repeat it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And the most recent trip that I went on, I did not allow myself to have those thoughts and I was completely fine.
Wow. See, this really runs everything.
It does.
It really runs everything. And we all have different systems that it affects. And I've noticed that for like a couple of my friends. Like one of my good friends, like whenever she goes through something really stressful, she'll faint. Like she has like full blown fainting.
Crazy.
Right? And it's like for you, it might be resulting in the bathroom, right? And that's a normal thing for like a lot of people. Like, and travel just like does things to your body, anyways. But especially perpetuate the belief.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always in my like chest.
Okay, yeah. So it's always it's somewhere for something. Like for me, it's always a gut thing or a head. It's always head or stomach, head or stomach. For you, it's like chest or maybe cold or things like that. So it's so important to just remember we are in control of our health and our bodies.
Yes, we need to cleanse the mindset because I definitely think that like these subconscious like belief systems and like really do seep in to everything, especially when it comes to how well we're feeling.
So true. Okay, well now let's get into body dysmorphia because that is separate from hypochondria, very separate. And I mean, it's one of those things where, you look in the mirror and you see something that you might not like, but everybody else is constantly telling you it's fine. And that maybe is actually annoying. Now you can speak on it. It might be annoying to you when everyone's constantly telling you that you look good or everything's fine when you don't feel that way. So tell me how it actually feels in your body, in your head when you're feeling those things.
It's just a weird experience overall. I think that it shifts and it changes in time. Like when I was in high school, totally different, right? Hormonal time. And I used to like every morning like measure my stomach or like, and sometimes I get so mad, like I had fixations or whatever. Obviously that's typical for body dysmorphia as well, but like, and I also want to preface that I've never overly identified myself with these things, but I've just recognized like it's in that category, but I don't try to identify myself with it. It's just a part of my experience in this incarnation for some god awful reason. Great, terrible, awful. That is my dysmorphia because it's very trippy because everybody around you is complimenting you or like, saying body goals or like whatever. I mean, I do get a lot of nice compliments. It doesn't ever phase my body dysmorphia like syndrome thing that I go through.
Like no matter how many times you hear good things, you're saying it does not override how you feel on the inside.
Yeah, it doesn't change like for me because I still see what I see or I fixate on what I fixate on, and it's like how can they see something that I can't see?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets really, really trippy, and it definitely. I mean, I've gone through different phases, and like I said, I don't identify with it being this like condition that I have, but it does make things really hard, and I have to work at building my like self-awareness though to the thoughts that I have to recognize that they're not real, that it's not actually the reality, right? Like so that I don't do something crazy like go under the knife for whatever reason. So I do feel like I've developed a healthy way of processing it. Like it might never fully go away. And I'm okay with that at this point, but I allow the thoughts to come in and go out, and I'm focused on like feeling joy in my body and feeling joy for the experiences and like, less like wasting time. Cause I think it got to a certain point where it's like, I'm wasting so much time feeling so down. And it's like ridiculous because all I do is work out. All I do is eat healthy. It's like I put in all this work and then to constantly feel dissatisfied is like fucking irritating. So after a certain point, okay, like maybe this will never go away, but I can choose to just not entertain it today. And so that's where I'm at with the journey now. Is I just choose to not entertain it. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I feel more than uncomfortable. But I just refuse to like go there because that's just I'm here. I'm in this body. It's not going away. If the trends want to make my body in to the times, then take them out in the same time frame really fucking quick. That's fine because I'm gonna be in this shit forever.
That's why it's called a trend, because it comes and goes. It's like skinny eyebrows are in, and then bushy eyebrows are in, and then small boobs are in, and then big boobs are in. It's
People are
just,
getting implants, taking them out,
yeah.
injecting, taking it out, and it's like I can't. I'm not gonna do that. So I might as well just like learn to be okay with it. So I think it'll be a journey. I think it'll be a process. I think it'll keep going, but you know, it's not as bad as it used to be. But even like today, it's interesting because I don't have a spray tan. That makes me uncomfortable. Because I'm so white and it's fine, but I'm like reflecting the sun, kind of white. And I've got all these freckles, which I still am not okay with. And it's just like, why can't they blend together already and just make me tan? It's like, it's just a little insulting. And also, it's hard for me because
Insulting.
it's insulting. And my ex actually got me into spray tans, which is like, and then he just really regretted it because he loves the whiteness of my skin, like how let's just call it pale, okay? This porcelain.
Girl,
tan.
me too. Pale.
Try to touch this white though. Like this is paper.
Let's see.
Girl, no. This is porcelain paper.
Look, we love ourselves though. We are showing off our skin.
It's blending with this.
And you know how many people want what you have, and then you want what other people have, and it's the whole grass is greener on the other side.
And it is the thing that I hate the most about the human experience. Like if somebody's like, what do you hate most about being human? I would say that the grass always feels green on the other side because we are so like desensitized. And I think in our world now, we're desensitized way quicker. It's like, because we're so used to getting everything immediately at our fingertips that we just don't even have patience anymore. And things just like, we're just, I think we're taking in so much information on a daily basis as well. More than we actually, I think, should. And it's only going to keep going. But yeah, like we're just so quick to like, the neighbor has a pool. Oh, I just really want that pool. If I had that pool, I'd be in that pool every day. And you get the pool and you're not in it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this like raccoon shiny effect. I hate that.
Yeah, it's like you want what you think you want something, but you only want it because other people want it, and it tricks your brain into thinking that you also want it when in reality you didn't want it before you saw it or heard about it, just like what you're saying with the pool. And it's the same with our bodies and our hair and our skin. When I cut my hair short, all of a sudden, oh no, I should get extensions because now I need long hair. And when my hair is too long, do you know what I was doing today? And I'm so happy my hair grew so long and it's healthy. I was in the mirror literally going like this to see what would I look like if I cut my hair short again, because now it's long, so now I want it short. It's always like that. And as long as we know that it's just it's made up in our heads, I think that's the most important thing. We just let the thought come and go.
We have to make the automation conscious. I think that's my tone for life right now. Like whatever automation I'm on, I need to make it conscious so that I'm not just going on the rat wheel, right? Like people call it the matrix or whatever. But I think it's a better way of classifying it and thinking about it as making the automation conscious, because we're all in some form of automation based off of like how we grew up, different belief systems that we have, etc. And until we can make that conscious, and we're not actually in the creator role of our life. We're just in the like result of the automation.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good point. You articulate that so well. It really does make sense. Okay, I want to move on to the second overshare. Again, I'm paraphrasing, so you can go ahead and explain what you mean. But you said, I grew up in a trailer and went dumpster diving as a kid, and now it's affecting my adult life in LA. So talk about how you went from that to where you're at now, and how it still plays a part in your daily life.
Well, I will say I don't know if it like affects me in like any like negative way. I don't let anything from my past like really bleed in and affect. I try to build a lot of awareness, like to the whole experience that I'm having, and to like objective grace. Like I really focus on like it's like there's nothing I can do to change it. I'm not going to feel bad about it. There was so many great things that I get to pull from it. But I think it is just interesting how blind I was to these other ways of existing during childhood. Like, there are people that really had, everything at their fingertips. And you see it in movies, you see it in stuff, but it's different when like you leave. Like I left my small town at like 18 and went to Nashville, lived there for 10 years, and now I moved to LA. And it's just like you don't know until you see it in front of your face. You're like, oh, that's so and so. Their dad, owns this like really big chain and whatever, and they're driving like a new Range Rover for their car at 15. And you're like, oh, that exists. Like
Mm-hmm.
that actually exists. People are actually like that. Because for me, it was just movies, and like it's just what's in the movies. But leaving a small town and like experiencing that, I just didn't. I think the one thing I realized and that I had to mourn so that I could like release it is that there there's so many like I had this realization. I'm like, oh wow, they're like literally 300 steps ahead of me. Like actually, it's like if I gave you a like 3 mile head start,
Mm-hmm.
like will I ever catch up in the same time frame? Like who knows, right? Like there's so many other things to come in to factor into life and success and all that stuff, and it's fine. And started from the bottom, now we're here. It's like an anthem, and I'd rather start. I think if I was to do it all over again, I'd still pick the same shit. I would still say, God, drop me in the cornfield, let me find my way out. But like, is she gonna? It's like a fucking Final Destination. Like, is she gonna make it out? I felt like it was a joke with the angels. They were like, let's just plop this, celestial being who's been around on the earth for millions of years. Let's just plop her in a cornfield this round. Maybe she'll make it.
And the cornfield for you was growing up in a trailer.
Yeah, I mean that was so weird because like my mom lived in a small apartment in a town of 800 people, but like my dad, when my parents got divorced when I was 9, he moved out of the town a little ways into the country. Yeah, and we like lived in this trailer, and he was very like after the divorce, he went through like a really dark period, and so I just went through that with him, which definitely forms who I am today. And he really just went in on monopolies for a while. Like he was very anti like large establishments, so there was no shopping at Walmart for us, and like he couldn't really afford it. And we just would go to the Denton bin or go dumpster diving. That was his thing. He was like, they're throwing away all this good food. Like,
So did you actually find real like some good usable stuff in the dumpsters?
yes,
You did.
yeah, because they throw out anything that is dented or anything that just expired that day, and he would.
Oh, from the actual stores. Like they are throwing things out at the end of the
We're
day.
not actually digging in other people's food trash, so that would be wow, a whole new level of loss.
Which, hey, if you got to do it, you got to do it.
Listen, I had enough other shit to deal with. I don't need to add that to my resume. Like the dumpster was of food that was thrown out that day at like a Walmart or something big, right? Like a bunch of frozen goods, something that just expired that day.
And there's nothing wrong with that because that is perfectly good uneaten product that if you cannot afford to go to the store and get it at the store, you're getting it. I mean, if you think, I know you said you didn't actually dive in other people's dumpsters, but you see homeless people outside and they're looking through the trash to get something, and it's like that's all they got for the day. And that's what they're going to get. And hopefully, like when I see them doing that, I'm actually hoping that they're going to find something really good, like a half-eaten sandwich or something like that. Because I'm like, that's going to be their meal for the day. So there's nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not. And I have so much compassion for people and what they're going through and their experiences, and like I just, I acknowledge that there's levels to it. Like, we all, it's hard, you can't compare one struggle to the next. It's all weird, right? I think most of mine was psychological anyways. But we definitely did dumpster dive, and we also hunted a lot. So most of what we ate was what we would catch.
Is there anything that you miss from those days, from your childhood, even though it was hard, that you don't have or don't do today that you actually kind of reminisce about?
A couple of things came to mind. I think one, I really like. I'm going to take action on this though. This month actually, but camping.
Mm-hmm.
I loved camping growing up. We would go camping all the time, like for like a long period of time. And I really there's a peacefulness that comes in nature that we are all connected to. And I think for me, like journeying through the city's life, it's been great. I love it. Like ideally, I would love to have access to both, in the life that I'm building. But I miss camping. Yeah, and I think I need to go back. I feel a deep seated call to like go back and like just turn my phone off because I've been chained to the rhythm, baby, for a minute. So I need to go shut it off. I think I miss that. And I also miss just like, dreaming about all my dreams and then still feeling like a wide open, field. And I haven't been slapped in the face a bunch yet. So I just didn't, it's just blind like excitement and the what if. And I think like you go through enough situations in your adult life chasing whatever that is, and you get slapped enough and you get, beat around, you start believing in these things that are, either response that you're getting, all this stuff. So you have a lot more to battle all of a sudden than you did when there was sheer faith, $200, a two-door coupe, and an open road. That was all you had. Like, it was fine. There's just who's going to stop me? Now I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people who want to stop me, and there's a lot of shit that can go wrong. So I think that, but what that's taught me, what's nice about that is I can go back and I can tap into that feeling. And as long as I tap into that and remember that space, I can carry that into my adult life without becoming, an adult. Like I can still go towards things as a child, which I had a really hard time with.
Yeah, inner child work is not easy for a lot of people because life gets so serious when you become a quote unquote adult and you're responsible for your own bills and things like that. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like especially for you, someone like you who had a rougher upbringing, you probably had to become an adult a lot quicker than some other people. So now all of a sudden you're an adult when you maybe should still be a child.
That's funny you say that because and you already know this, but I did your gene keys.
Yeah.
And I love human design and gene keys. That's my thing.
Yes.
And my gene keys. It's me, these
Yeah, she don't like her gene keys. Why did I get an accent when I said that?
I don't know.
She don't like.
Keep going because your hillbilly cousin self just came out, and I keep telling Jackie she's not allowed at the family get together because she's embarrassing, and I'm trying to make money. This money's out of here.
So talk to me about your gene keys, because I know whenever we bring up anything basically in our birth charts or our gene keys or our human design, she's always like, why did I get the short end of the stick?
It's like, I'm telling you, it's like a cosmic joke. Like my plopper cornfields give her this life lesson. Like I know that I picked it, so I just gotta chill about it. But I think that gotta
you chose this life.
I chose this life, so I need to walk through it. So I'm surrendering. But it's just funny to me because I'm so focused on success and building something great and being a leader in the world, like a thought leader. I just want to do great things. I want to make impact. It's my natural stance to want to lead. And I take shit way too seriously, but it's also been great for me. That's also a great thing until it's not a great thing. So whatever. But I read my friend's gene keys and I swear it's like a joke. It's like everybody's gene keys around me is to be a leader, success, this is the path, whatever, right? And you read mine and it's when others follow what seems to be a predetermined course, yours is in fact not predetermined at all. And you will lose things that you care about a lot, but you will find something that is more valuable. Who you are. And I'm like, fuck you. It's why did you do it? You will, nothing's predetermined. I'm fucking out. You're just, woo. And then it's the way that you're successful, it's not hard work and discipline, because I'm good at those things. No. Play like a child. And the more you play, the more successful you'll be. I'm like, what does that mean? It's this whole thing of just my path to success is simply playing.
That sounds fun.
And everybody has that fucking reaction. What fun? It's of course it'd be fun because you want that, right? You read it and you're like, oh, that sounds great. I would love to have that. And I'm like, I want yours where it says, will be this. Do this.
Well, it's funny because we're kind of switched in that way where I love being in my inner child. I love just dreaming and playing and not caring about anything when mine says that this is what you're supposed to do for success. And then you're the opposite. You're like, I don't want to play and be a kid. I want to get things done, but why can't I just get it done? So I think that's why we make a good team when we're kind of together and talking and brainstorming, because we both have the opposite energies that we both lack in ourselves, and then we bring them together. We're like, okay, there we go.
It really is calming. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
noticed that from the moment we started talking. And then you had that whole download when we stayed up really late that one night because you were just a projector with all of this sacral energy going through. You're like, I'm up and I can't move my face to talk, but I'm up. And you definitely channeled out the whole, like, I express myself through my shadow and you do it through your inner child. And like, that's such a good, like, a pivotal moment for me because it really allowed me to see that I do. And I need to get a little bit more of that sauce. So I need to learn.
And it's good to also know what your shadows are and work through those. And that's something that I need to work on because apparently I probably have some anger I need to express, but I don't know what or where or how. I've been told by different healers that they can sense that maybe I just don't get angry enough because the truth is I don't. I don't get angry. And maybe I should. And I don't know who I'm supposed to be mad at, but I'm pissed off. Like, I don't even know how to be mad.
You know, why don't we like explore that for a second? I think like, okay, so I'm usually the first one in the troop of like friends to be like, don't let anybody speak into your life. That's the first thing that I always feel like. I don't care. Like, do not let them speak in because people speak in and then we take it in and we identify with it or we search for it and we try to make it real, right? So that's usually the first thing I say. But I would say I think in this like maybe that they are touching on something, but maybe it's not anger expressed in the way that we see anger expressed for you, right? Like maybe you don't have to be mad at anybody. Maybe there's nothing to really like the anger that we think that is what we think of when we think of anger. Maybe that's not actually at all. Like maybe you have a completely different, way of expressing it and like finding that, right? Like maybe it's just like being more direct more often about more shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to go back and process all that. You just, when you have a thought or feeling, instead of like suppressing it, being open with it. And it doesn't always have to be full anger.
Yeah, that's true. And I thought about even just going to one of those rage rooms and just breaking stuff because I don't actually feel anger towards any specific person or people. I don't feel like I want to go yell at somebody because it's just not who I am. Maybe I need to go to a mountaintop and just scream at nobody.
Yeah.
So those
Maybe
are all
it's just
things.
in your body.
Yeah.
And you just need to let out the body, like storing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you don't actually, like, it doesn't really come to fruition, but you're still like, it's still a thing, right? Maybe.
Maybe there were times when I was younger that I should have gotten angry and I didn't. And so now it's stored trauma or stored energy, and that could be it. So lots to explore there. So
Maybe
it's a never ending journey.
Families, lineage of issues, because a lot of us reincarnated in this realm at this time to do that work.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have ancestral shit.
We are doing the work. We are doing the work. All right. Well, before we get into hot takes, because Phenix Red here has some hot takes for us, y'all. I wanted to just shout out to Vibes right here. This is a mind and body mood drink with magnesium. Magnesium is so important for your health and wellness, especially if you feel like you're a little restless and you need a little chill in your life. Look up the benefits of magnesium and you'll see what it can do for you. If you want 10% off of your Vibes drinks, I'm drinking the blood orange lime. We have the blackberry hibiscus over here, lots of different flavors. 10% off. Jackie Hollywood on idrinkvibes.com. That's idrinkvibes, VYBES.com, and try it today. All right, so let's get into the first hot take, which is a good one. Oh my gosh, thanks.
I'm like,
Aw, thanks. I'm blushing. Okay, let's get into the first hot take because this is a big one, and this is something a lot of people, including myself, has dealt with, struggled with. And you said, I don't believe in imposter syndrome, and calling it a syndrome is what keeps it a syndrome. And it's like, mind blown. So let's talk about imposter syndrome.
Yeah. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that shit. I think my issue is identifying with things, right? Like I think like as humans, like we try to classify things, like this collection of symptoms is this, which I think has its importance, like in like being able to navigate certain things, and just as it's a human condition to want to label and understand, right? Because if we can put it inside of this, then we can understand it. But I have a problem with things like imposter syndrome because, okay, I guess let's explain it like this. You have a collection of feelings, a collection of thoughts that come up in certain moments, right? And then you express those feelings to me, and then I say, those collection of thoughts is imposter syndrome. Now you have a syndrome. Now I've spoken into your thoughts, and now you're classifying this experience as a syndrome. And now you're in a drome. You got to get out of it. You're in the syndrome. Now you're fighting something completely different. What if you just told me your thoughts and told me your feelings, and then I said, that's a perfectly normal human experience to have. Just allow those things to come in, allow those thoughts to go out, and do not identify with them. That is your brain firing off neural pathways because of multiple experiences you've been through in life, and just the fact about being human in this experience. And how about you just allow them to come through, don't identify with them, and then move on and be present. Realign yourself with the presence. Then all of a sudden, you're moving through like what would have been an obstacle, the imposter syndrome, and you're back to having presence in that moment in your life. I think that when we label things like imposter syndrome, then we spend all this time identifying with it, thinking that we have to work on ourselves or fix ourselves. But that is the rat race. Like, that's the bullshit. You have nothing to fix. You just have to make the automation conscious. You just have to be aware that you will have these thoughts and to allow them to come through you, not identify with them. And then I think that that's the most important thing. Imposter syndrome steals you from these moments of being present. Because now you're just focusing, like, instead of being like, wow, I'm in this moment, finally, I'm here, like, I deserve this. Like, instead of being there, instead of loving that, you're like, I'm in imposter syndrome, I really need to work on this, and probably need to call my therapist, and there goes the moment. And that's all you fucking have is the now. And when I went to Ireland with my best friend, that's where I think I really snapped on this stuff. Because we're in Ireland. Like, this woman wanted to be in Ireland her entire life. Her first time going to Europe, the first person in her family to go to Europe. You know what I mean? And like, she's in this place reconnecting with her heritage. And we're walking across the street in this day too, and she's just down. And I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, talk to me. I don't know. I have like imposter syndrome. Like, I just think like, do I really need to do I deserve to be here? I was like, whoa. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, are you kidding me? No. Did you think that? Were you sitting in your bed at your parents' house a couple of years ago thinking, oh, I don't deserve to be here? No, you were thinking, I want to get the fuck out of here to where I deserve to be. And then this is where you thought you deserved to be. Then you got here, and now you're going to identify and like think that you have to. No, those thoughts are normal. Let them come in, let them go out. We're going to go have a good time, be present. It's stealing your joy. And I think that that's the problem when we classify things as syndromes, or we classify even Lyme disease. When I had Lyme disease, like, I did not identify with being sick. Therefore, I did not move in that mentality of sickness. Therefore, I was the creator of my life, and I could heal. And you have a similar experience with that. But if I identified as a sick person with Lyme disease, then that's how I would manifest. That's how I'd exist. So yeah, I have a problem with imposter syndrome.
So true. So you're saying that having imposter syndrome is pretty much the same thing as just having really low self-worth. Like, you just don't feel worthy. Or do you think it's different?
Human experience. I think even people that have high self-worth don't always get to a moment and think, oh, I deserve to be here. I think that when you've actualized something, when you've tried to, work towards something in your life, and you came from something that you didn't like, right? We're all on this journey, right? And I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a degree, but I do feel like I've got an idea. Like, I've got my own ideas, obviously, and they're my opinions, But I think that we just, we classify these things. So no, I don't think that it has necessarily just to do with low self-esteem. I think that it's just like a part of the human being. Like, this brain that we have is firing thoughts. We are not in control. And if we act on every single thought and we identify with every single thought as our identity, like as a part of who we are, that would be black. There's a lot of thoughts I know that you have, that I have, that everybody has, that it's not who I am. It's what you do after the thought happens, and how you make your decisions, and how you move with them, right? That really ultimately, like, I really want to hit that guy. Did I hit him?
Did you?
No, I mean, maybe, right? But it's like, I'm not the thought. I'm not this person who actually want to, like, if I actually hit him, I'd feel really fucking shitty about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that we just need to be more of the objective observers of this brain, of this experience, of this life, because as these things are firing off, we don't need to classify them or identify with them. We just need to let them move through us and focus on presence, focus on like creating, like not focusing on being a part of a product of the automation of these thoughts. Because what's happening, and they do this in a lot of different things, we label a lot of things in the name of unity, in the name of self-growth. We put all these labels to things, all this language that we're given to use that we're apparently like getting more enlightened with, but it's actually the cage that we're living in. We're actually not achieving unity through these words, through this language at all. We're actually not achieving self-peace or awareness at all. We're perpetuating the same system with new language, thinking that we're doing the work. And that's like psychological warfare.
That is such a good point. Yeah, I think just labeling ourselves as another example is, oh, I have anxiety. I am depressed. I'm not saying you can't feel anxiety and that you can't feel depression, because I think we've all felt those types of things. But I used to identify with, I'm too sensitive and I'm too emotional. That's what I used to say about myself. You know why? Because I cry a lot. And guess what? I still cry a lot. I cried last night. I cry all the time. That does not make me an overly sensitive or overly emotional person. That makes me a human being who has feelings. And every time I cry, I'm actually releasing some sort of energy and I feel better afterwards. But I used to identify with that as well and being like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm too sensitive. And I used to apologize for it. And now I realize I am never going to apologize for being an emotional human being, because that's just literally in my DNA. That's who I am.
It's a part of your incarnation here. It's what you're supposed to be. We are not all supposed to be the same. And I think that if we just spend half as much energy on identifying with these syndromes as we do identifying with these syndromes, on just like accepting ourselves, like I think that's the big thing that shifted for me. I took the Landmark Forum, which is a personal development course. Some people call it a cult. But there's tools and everything, right? So like even this thing that I took, some people love it and worship this program. Some people call it a cult. It can be both.
I was just going to say it can be both.
At the same time, it is only going to be what I make it. Like, therefore, now we've removed the labels again, right? Like, maybe everything is coexisting at the exact same time together. And that's okay. And maybe we've got a bunch of different personality traits from growing up with like different environments, different things. But maybe, just maybe, that's what we were supposed to do. And maybe there's nothing to change. I think like that's what the course taught me. That's the biggest thing that I got away from it, is that people would go up on the stage and they would be giving this teaching about your automated brain, right? Firing off these thoughts, i.e. imposter syndrome or other things. And they would say, that's just your brain. They would explain it, and then people would go up there and be like, well, how do I change it? And that is the human rat race that we're on. How do I change this? What can you sell me? Consume, consume, consume. I need something to fix this. Give me a name for it. Give me a label for it. Give me a drug for it. Give me a thing. How about you're fucking fine? How about you don't have anything to change? How about all of these things that you're experiencing are just what you're experiencing? And there's some good tools you can use from it, some tools you don't need anymore from your childhood. And like everything can coexist, and we can just let it flow out. And we can just focus on what we want to create. And that is where you really step into the driver's seat of your life. But a lot of people are in their automation and they're running around buying shit, trying to change something. But there's nothing to change.
Yeah, it reminds me of just this whole self-growth and growing and constantly bettering ourselves to the point of detriment. Now, I don't think that bettering yourself is a bad thing. I think bettering yourself is a good thing, and
100%.
Being self-aware and learning and all of that.
100%.
And I do it every day, and so do you. But there is a point to where you're never satisfied with your growth and with what you've accomplished. And so now there's this internal battle of, well, I need to do more. I need to learn more. I need to grow more. And then it's like, well, are you enjoying the fruits of your labor today? And that's what we were talking about, is being present. Yeah.
And I think, just to clarify, just in case anybody's listening and they're like, well, she said there's nothing to change. I'm saying that who you are innately, how you process things, how you feel, what you think, are you too serious? Are you over disciplined? Do you have all these other things we all have these things in our existence that make up this personality. We don't need to chase our tail trying to change that. That is who we are as a literal biological being in this reality, based off of our own individual lives. There's nothing to change. We're not broken. The system benefits off of people thinking that they're broken.
The system is broken.
Exactly. But the system's working well for itself by profiting off of us thinking that we're broke. But if we looked at ourselves as whole, accepted the whole entirety of our experience, and instead of changing ourselves, we changed our actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just chose to move differently. We chose to build self-awareness, recognize our own automations, our
Mm-hmm.
same patterns, choose to make that conscious, realize that we can change that. Those thoughts aren't going to go away. Not always just going to go away. They might get quieter. You might have less time periods with them. That's fine. But don't try to make it go away or change it. Just lessen the blow. Allow it to flow through. Don't identify. Keep going.
Exactly, because otherwise it gets exhausting.
It's fucking exhausting. And we're like 30 now, so I'm like, I really just had this realization, and what really like allowed me to let go of a lot of this stuff because I was still entertaining certain identities about myself. I was like, girl, we cannot like keep going for another 30 years like this. This is just not okay. And it actually really was interesting because when I read your Gene Keys and I revisited mine, I chose to read them again the same night with less judgment, less expectation about what I wanted them to tell me to validate that my life was going to be successful. And I listened to it for the first time. I really listened. And inside of the breakdown, they talked about how one of the specific gene keys that represents my life's purpose here, I won't realize my full power, my full life's purpose until I stop trying to chase this internal perpetual change or growth of myself. And I realized at that point, it was like the cherry on top of everything that I've been shifting. I realized that I'm that person that would book that trip to go fix myself somewhere perpetually on this journey of fixing myself. And then when I read this, I realized, holy shit, I just freed myself of that next 30 years of trying to do that.
That's beautiful.
I can just focus on loving myself.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. This leads me into your next hot take, which is movements turn into bandwagons and weapons and end up polarizing the groups that it was meant to set free in the first place. Go.
Yeah. So, you know, the producer Nader, he's falling asleep back there with my amazing thoughts right now. Thank you, Nader, for that yawn. I feel great. No, so I think before this time frame, I've been a little hesitant on even like speaking about this because, like, listen, like it's loud out here on the internet. Everybody's got a place for their opinions. Essentially, we all have our ideas of what reality is. So people might disagree with this, and that's completely fine.
That's why it's a hot take.
But this is what I see, and I think as a person, I naturally focus on the subconscious patterns of things versus just like this story and this thing and what this person said or this trend. Like I'm trying to see the overview, and I just think in general, I've seen a lot of movements get birthed from these pain places, right, of wanting things to change and just feeling oppressed. Like some form of oppression is usually what makes movements happen, right? But then somewhere along the line, it's so evident that the extremes of these movements, the ones that come out of the woodwork on the extreme sides, right, with maybe not the most healthy asks for change, right? It's like it gets morphed. It becomes a thing that you wanted birth from pain, and then it becomes morphed into this bandwagon led by the most like extreme versions of this frequency, and then it ultimately completely changes the movement, i.e. like feminism.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
And I'll be honest, like I can't tell you who started feminism. I can't tell you like what year it began. I don't care about those facts, to be honest with you. I'm living now. I can tell you how it feels now. And I can tell you as somebody who grew up with a dad who ultimately, I don't think really liked women, really hated my mom, blamed her for everything, ingrained in me that girl, whatever that girl was that I didn't want to be, was how he viewed women. So, they just take your money. Well, I didn't want anybody's money. Don't help me. That girl that whatever, right? I was just running from her all my 20s. And I actually ended up in a very long-term relationship where he was very much so a provider, and I very much so hated it. I felt rejected towards it because of his ingrained belief, but also I tie that into being so hyper independent that I didn't need a man because I also wanted to not feel oppressed. And I also grew up in a world where feminism was rising and it was like this cool thing. And all of a sudden, like, I just developed a weird energy towards what I would actually call a very like healthy form of masculine and feminine energy coming together. I had to go through this whole intimate experience of a relationship to look at my own self and how I'm perpetuating like I just took up all the space. And I think that what is weird about it is I think, you know, with things like feminism, like we just wanted what felt like equal rights, right? Now I think we got a lot of them. But I think being treated the exact same is just not realistic. I don't think being a female is the same thing as being a male. And I'm not talking about all the other sub communities, but I'm saying that my experience as a female, like, literally is a different expression of life than a male's experience, down to the hormones, down to everything.
Yeah.
And why do and that's what's crazy. This is coming from a workaholic, a recovering hyper independent woman. Like, I want the ability to get shit done, but I also want to have a man be a man, because the reality is that I only operate 2 weeks out of every month, even nearly close to whatever he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And I beat the shit out of myself working because now we have the opportunity, I think, to, as women, prioritize our peace if we don't want a relationship that actually takes from it, which is it's one of the biggest pros of this era, right? Everything has its pros and cons. There's balance, everything coexists. But at the same time, I think the feminist movement, because of just people like me as well, who don't do all the research, they don't know every single thing, but sometimes facts don't even matter because the thing has become its own thing. And we have a lot of people that just hate men.
Yeah. I talk about that all the time when people say, and I've said this on the podcast before, when people say a blanket statement like men are trash, that drives me crazy because guess what? Yeah, the men that you've experienced in your life maybe are trash, but you've attracted them. And when I say you, I've been that. I have attracted not so great people before. And it's until you work on yourself and realize what you are attracting, all of a sudden, I don't think men are trash at all. I think men are great. And I think some men need work and some men are great and some women need work and some women are great. And so it's just that exactly what you're saying. And I get really passionate about that topic too, because you know what? Your word is your wand, and whatever you say, if you keep saying men are trash, then every man you encounter is going to treat you like trash.
And let's talk about that, right? Because I think that's the biggest thing. Like, and I've literally, like, sometimes I can't even hold it back anymore when I'm in conversations with some people.
Don't hold back, girl. Let it out.
Because they'll be talking about all their relationships, and I said, damn, that really sounds like a pattern. I was like, what was your relationship like with your dad? What was your relationship like with your mother? Like, let's dive in, because either way, like, if we can, like, victims versus creator. I will never be a victim of anything. I do not care. Like, whatever's happening in my life, I've created it. And that comes down to subconscious belief systems, right? So there's the conscious me that wants this great relationship, this successful job, all of these things. And that's like the actor in the movie. And then my subconscious mind is writing the script for this season. And then this season, the actor's showing up the same, like, I really hope I get all the things that I want, but it wasn't written in for this season. Sorry, you're still going to get the same kind of relationship, the same bullshit, because that's what we believe. And your brain is going to give you what it believes, because that is it proving its reality to itself, which keeps you safe. So when people say whatever about men, I had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I don't actually have that belief system. I have the belief system that men value my opinion, that I am respected when I step into spaces. I have this belief system that I've had to rewrite into my brain, that I am deserving of male's help, men's help. Men's help, that's so weird. I'm deserving of however they want to, help me or provide for me, which is something that I would ever accept before. So I have this different belief system about it, and that's why it becomes my reality.
100%.
I'm respected in the workspace. My opinion is valued. I'm uplifted in that. I don't feel beaten down or run down. You can't even come around me with that energy. It just literally doesn't even, I'm not penetratable. My aura, you cannot penetrate. It is literally like only the things that are allowed in this aura that are what I believe I deserve are what's allowed in, and therefore that is what I attract. And so if you are attracting that experience, you'll find it, because this is a big world. And not everybody's at the same level with themselves and knowing themselves. And it's fucking way harder now than it ever was before. But we didn't even have the language before. So it's about time. So just step up, do the work.
Yeah, there is so much truth to that. So what do you think then would be quote unquote healthy feminism in your opinion? Like, what would that look like if feminism was a movement that actually was good for us all?
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like it would be it would be an energy of moving with a little bit more grace. It would be stepping into the role of knowing that as a feminine individual, as a woman, we literally are holding the space for what is manifesting in our world. Like the feminine takes in energy and then manifests it. So if we're taking in energy naturally, and the men are channeling the energy, not just physically with like sperm and life, but also like they are the channelers. Like that is what masculine does, is action.
Mm-hmm.
We can't leave them out of it. It includes them. That's what feminism looks like to me. It actually includes the men.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't disregard their experience. It gives them the same loving grace and compassion in a space, holding space for them to heal and them to rise to the level that we rose to, because we naturally are going to evolve faster than that. We have more interconnected brainwaves. That's literally our purpose in life in this lifetime, is to manifest life, is to birth it. So whenever we're channeling, it's like, okay, I can't be worried about the drinking water unless I'm worried about what's like filtering it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fight for this water if like I'm allowing bad water to come through. So why do I disregard? I can't just be mad at the water and just whatever. It'll still be coming through that way. So I have nothing
Mm-hmm.
to manifest properly. So I think I'm not an expert. I can tell you what I think today and what's coming through me today because I'm just channeling. But I think that that's what real feminism is. It's just teaching men about our experience and then learning about their experience and then including that into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because a lot of people just look at men as evil, like they're just this
Yeah.
evil species. And honestly, we need men in this world to continue to reproduce and become more. You know, we
How
need.
many jobs do they do for us? Like, even if it doesn't directly impact your household right now in your like dating life, I think in dating life, that's a different experience. But men as a whole, they do a lot of shit that you don't want to do. I don't want to do. Okay, a lot. And that's just the reality. And actually, you know what? I think like I just think death to bandwagons. I actually just want to get rid of them. I actually think what makes feminism, whatever would help it, is no feminism at all. Humanism. How about your experience is valid? Your experience is valid. Let's talk about how we can be better human beings. How can we better lean into your experience so that I can understand? Because if it's not just men versus women, it's it's black versus white, it's gay versus straight. How about fuck it all, do whatever your experience is, just rise to the occasion of building awareness in yourself so that you can have these conversations without living in your hurt. And I think that that's all that matters. Because this isn't really, we don't need a bandwagon for this. It's common sense. We just need everybody to elevate to the same frequency.
Well, common sense ain't so common.
Just need to elevate. We wasted more energy on it and teaching people how to build awareness, and it might not be for everybody's lifetime, but I think we'd be like way more advantageous.
Yeah,
Right now they're just pissed. And I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely can see how that is true. And people are gonna agree with you and people are gonna disagree with you. And that is the whole purpose of this show. I love to get people on who have opinions, because without opinions, without being an individual, we are all just operating as robots and just copying each other's thoughts. And I think it's so cool to have, you said you wanted to be a thought leader, and for you to sit here and actually give me your true feelings and thoughts, and they are so valid and they make so much sense. And so I invite you to leave comments below. Let us know what you think about this. And on that note, I would actually love to ask you if you see a younger version of yourself. Okay, so see a young Phenix Red, okay? How old do you see her right now? Like if she's in this room with you right now.
9.
9. It's funny because when I ask people, everyone's about between like 8 and 9, 7, 8, 9.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So talk to her. Tell her what she needs to hear right now.
You're putting me on the spot.
I am.
Oh my god.
After all that.
Nothing's wrong with you. Other people's experiences are not your responsibility. Don't shrink. please stop defending yourself just because other people set you up to defend yourself. Definitely that. Like, we do not need to defend. Let them think it to themselves. You have nothing to prove. That's a lot of energy wasted. And yeah, just like, don't let your innocence die. Don't let how you view the world through an unconditional love ever waver. It didn't.
It's beautiful. I'm so happy that you were able to come here and share all of your thoughts today. You're such a dear friend, and I always just want to see you shine. So I'm really glad that you were able to be here today. And I'll let everyone know where they can see you shine if they want to keep up with all your shenanigans.
Yeah, you can follow me at Phenix Red Music on all socials, and also launching my podcast, The Rebirth Effect.
Yes.
Find that on socials as well.
This girl has a voice. And when I say a voice, I mean like she could sing. So if you want to hear a little music, definitely hit her up. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so blessed to call you a friend. And for everyone listening, you're also my friend. Thank you for the support. Thank you for loving the show. Even if you love it, if you hate it, whatever it is, I super appreciate your support. And we will be back for the next episode of Dare to Overshare next week. And on that note, peace out.